Ciao, gentle viewers. Hey, you're back in the studio with me again today. We're going to be painting, we're going to be doing some mono printing on fabric. But before we get to that, I just want to say thank you to all of you who are new subscribers. And actually, I want to thank all of you old subscribers too. We so appreciate your comments and your likes and, you know, your shares. Thank you for sharing. If you like it and you want to share it with other people, we so appreciate that. So anyway, so we're going to be mono printing on fabrics today. I have so many things to share with you. And, you know, this was just one little idea that I had. And I thought, okay, how hard could that be? And what could we do with it? And once I started printing on fabric, I mean, oh my gosh, I've got so many things to share, so many ideas. So we're going to get started right now and put my apron on. So all the products that I'm using today you can find in the comments section, and you know, if you want to go on Amazon and get them, the sheet protectors, and I'm using a Deco Art glorious gold. It's beautiful. And then Winsor Newton acrylics. I've been trying them out and I really like them. They're a nice heavy bodied acrylic. So if you want to do that, that's great. And you know, I have to tell you, I'm required to tell you that if you actually purchase one of those, they're going to give me a couple of pennies for it. So I just wanted to let you know that. And so next up, I'm going to show you how to load your new plate, your plastic sleeve protector plate. So I wanted to share a few of the prints that I made, which I think are pretty yummy. Aren't they great? And I love this one with the blue and the ochre, and this one, and this one. Lots of texture. They're just great. And then I've got like 4 different techniques to share with you today. So we're going to get started with doing this first technique, the really simple things to share with you some new ideas without having to use a brayer. But before we even get to that, I have to show you the plate we're using, which is, you know, those sleeve protectors that you can get at an office supply store. That's what we're using. So you don't have to have a jelly plate. You don't have to, you know, do anything else. You can just use one of these for your plate, and they work really well. I'm super excited about it. And if you don't have a jelly plate, there are other things you could do too. You could just use plain old fun foam. These are just pieces that I had used for another project. And then I used them for a plate one time, and I really liked it. It was really fun. So fun foam, you could use a Silpat baking sheet. So there's a lot of different things you can do. And what's cool about these is, first of all, the size is it's a pretty good size. But you can rip them apart. So you can do front, back, insides. You know, you get a lot of plates out of just one sleeve. I'm going to use 2 different fabrics today. One is this damask, and it's an antique tablecloth, so it has a printed, it's kind of a print that goes into the weave of it. It's really thick and very absorbent. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use a plain cotton today, just 2 fabrics. I thought it would make it easier because there's so many things that we want to do. All right, so we're going to ink up our plate. And I know everyone says, you know, when you're mono printing, everyone expects that you're going to use a brayer. But why do you have to do that? You can get the plate loaded with lots of different things. And so I decided to use my palette knife and just to make little squiggles in it. And what's really cool about this is that the edge here is coming through on the plate, so that's kind of neat too. Now it's got its own little thing going on, its own little wonderful squiggle lines. It's like kind of like just, you know, smearing frosting all over. It's really fun to do. Okay, and because you're using this plastic plate, you don't really have to use a retarder or open or anything like that. Now you can just pull this off. I'm going to tell you that you can use your hands but it is pretty absorbent and is going to come through. That's why I'm wearing gloves. Of course, you know I wear gloves all the time anyway. But I'm gonna use the brayer to roll the fabric so that we can get a really good imprint of it. And you know, you can go over this as many times as you want. Oops. Okay. So I'm just going to add a little bit more paint, just simply because it didn't come out as well as I would like. And it shows you the absorbency of the cloth. It really picks it up really well. So here we go. And I like having some open spaces in the cloth. I mean, think of the possibilities with the open spaces, the stitching, all different kinds of things you can do. Okay, we're going to lay it down. I'm going to come back and we're going to make a print. Okay, that's pretty fun. I love the double color on there. And the great thing about monoprints is now we can go back and we can target this piece too and see if we can pick up any more paint on that. So I got a little bit more paint there. You can just keep printing and printing, and the wonderful thing about the damask fabric is that it's so heavy it can be very, very absorbent. Okay, this is how stiff the fabric can get depending on how many times you actually pull the prints. And I'm working, you know, darks and lights together in this one, but mostly I'm working dark all the way to light to a white color at the top. And I'm going to show you that. That's the highly textured pieces that I'm going to show you. That'll be the last technique that I show you over and over again. And we're just going to build it up. Okay, so we've got that down, and then I want to do, we're going to mix things up now. We're going to use the brayer, and we're just going to get some nice little squiggles in it. Now, the sleeve I just simply tape down to the freezer paper that I've laid out on my desk so that it'll stay put. And what I like about this, these plastic sleeves, is that the paint doesn't dry very fast. So you've got a little time to work and to do some things that you really want to do. I'm going to use an applicator here, and I'm just going to do some swirls. And that's how I did it in the other one too. I think I'm starting to run out of paint, but that's okay. I'll just make some dots. Okay. And now I'm just going to take my fabric, and as you might have noticed, I pressed these. You don't have to do that. I just wanted to get a really clear print for you to see what I was doing. You might even like the folds in the fabric because it comes up with a really cool print. So see how it saturates the fabric and comes through the back. And then you've got to have a place to dry this stuff too, because it gets kind of wet. And then I've got a book to offload. I can't remember if I told you that or not. Let's pull it this way for you to see. Okay, now you can see how the fabric really sucks up the paint. That's pretty fun. I like that. That's yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Okay, so we're going to play around here with this yummy gold. And I'm going to use my palette knife to pull it down. And swirl it around and mix it up. And as you saw, I didn't bother with cleaning the plate. So if there's any other color on there, it's going to come through. And that's fine. I don't mind. And each time I'm using my palette knife, I'm putting it back in the water. It's just, you know, keep it nice and clean. I'm going to use a variety of placemats and some plastic placemats and stencils, nice flat stencils. But today I'm also going to use just plain old bubble wrap. And I know you're thinking, no, Kat, you're just going to make those little dots and everything. But we're going to do it just a little bit differently because we're going to pull it down. We're not going to really make super dots. We're just going to play with it, with the texture. Okay. And then we're going to put that, load that into our book too, because, you know, when you put it all in the book, then you're going to be making all those really yummy, yummy papers. So let's see. I want to put another color down in here. No, it's going to be way too light. We'll use the rest of the blue. Okay, just swirling and playing with it, because you just never know how it's going to turn out, right? And we're going to switch from that heavy fabric to this cotton. You can already see the design coming through. It's so fun, like being a mad artist and just playing and having a great time. Okay, let's see how that turns out. I love that gold. It's just really, really yummy. Love how the bubble wrap makes those, it's a sort of little circle, but then when you pull it down, it makes this wonderful print. I hope you can see it. It's really, really cool. And when I'm talking about the book, I'm just talking about an antique book that I ripped all the covers off of it, and I'm just offloading the brayer, offloading the bubble wrap, you know, all of that stuff going in here. So it's just making some really yummy pages. I just want to share that with you, because why waste that paint, right? Okay, so now I'm going to show you how highly graphic you can get, and you have to use a cotton to do this. The detail just doesn't come out in the heavier fabrics, and you can get, you know, really yummy detail. And this is what I mean about if you don't want to iron the page, then you're going to get this wonderful you know, wrinkle in the print, which is very cool and really fun. And this is just using, you know, like a circle stencil, one of those old ones, you know, just playing with it and having fun. And then we're going to make this one today, so I can share with you how to do that. You just need a smaller stencil, and we're going to show you that. And then I'm going to show you this right now, and this is really fun, getting this highly graphic look on fabric. And just think about all the things you could do with this. I mean, you can go back in, you could paint the numbers, you could cut them out and use them for other things. I mean, my mind is just swirling with ideas. This is just like the tip of the iceberg here. Okay, so I'm inking up my plate, and I'm going to use the stencil, and then I'm offloading on the book, and then picking up the fabric. Okay, that came out pretty well. It's got a really nice graphic look to it. And just think of all the things you could do. Go back with thread and do stitching around the letters, or cut the letters out, use them for all kinds of things. I just think it's pretty yummy. It's just fabulous. And now I'm going to pull, well, not the ghost print really, it's the print that is at the bottom after I pulled off the stencil, and we're going to see what comes out of this one. You just never know how they're going to turn out. That's what's so exciting about it and what's so fun. This one's really yummy too. Very cool. I love it. Love all these little marks down here. Okay, you can clean the sheet protector. You can just clean it with just plain water and a spray bottle, and that's on your list of supplies. Or you can just let it go and let it stay yucky. I just wanted to share it with you, and you can have, multiple printing stations is what I love about it. It's just so fun. Okay, so I want to share with you the way I did this one, and it is to use a really small stencil. We're going to use pretty much the same technique, but we're going to what's going to happen is that the small stencil is going to make its own little space, and I just love that. So you want to think about using a lot of different kinds of stencils. This stencil actually came from an old card, and I just really loved it. I'm going to put just a little more paint on here because I want it to be nice and thick. Okay. Especially at the top. Pull it down, push it up. Okay, there we go. That's nice. Poke this in, this side down. Okay. All right, offload in the book. This one we're going to lift up. Curses. Got to get the palette knife out here. Oh, yummy, eh? Mm-hmm, yummy. Okay, that's going in the book. I'm just going to blot it. Now we're going to pull the fabric. Too small. I cut them in different sizes so I wouldn't get bored, because I get bored if I have to do something in repetition. I just kind of glaze over. I just can't do it. I have to go on to doing some other task. You guys probably know way too much about me now. Okay. All right, and I just don't feel like this is connecting that well, so I am going to use my hand. Well, we'll go this way. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Look at the colors that came up underneath it. Okay, so this is what happens when you don't clean off your plate. And you know what? I like it even better. It's very cool. Wow, almost at chow for now, and I had a lot of fun printing in the studio with you today. Lots of wonderful experiments. I'm hoping that you try them and play with it and have fun with it. Next time we come back, I mean, I'm just so jazzed about doing these prints on fabric. So I want to print continuously on a large piece of fabric because I want to cover this journal. This is my art journal, my current one. I want to recover it with that monoprinted fabric. So we're going to do that in the studio. I'm going to show you how I do it. And then we're going to do monoprinting on boards, canvas, and making transfers with monoprints. So using transfers in your monoprints. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to just go crazy with that. So I can't wait to see you next time too. And thanks again. So ciao for now.